Greetings, my fellow Nigerians, wherever you are across the globe or in Nigeria. I'm bringing one greetings from Jefferson City, Missouri. You know what it is, it's Nigerian Constitution, and you're right, it's show hosted every Tuesday. This is going to be a pre-recorded session. So this particular record is going to be for next Tuesday, which is going to be Tuesday, July 29, 2022, our usual time, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, or 3 p.m. US Central Time, or 4 p.m. US Eastern Time. It's going to be, so when you watch this, it's going to be 29th of July. Okay, and today's show is going to be covering the topics that's hovered around Nigeria as a nation or as a federal republic and its 36 states. So Nigeria as a nation and the 36 states. So we want to explore that and see how it's all pieced together constitutionally. And I have my usual guest here, the good barrister, Joseph Tendo Bayo. So say hello to Nigerians, my audience.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Ike, and good evening, entire people of the country, Nigeria. Good to have you here, and it's my pleasure to always be here.
All right. It's good to always have you here. So today we're just going to be discussing about Nigeria as a federation, because our official name is the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which signifies that it is a federal government, or we operate a federal government system, a federal system of government. So in your opinion, as a legal practitioner in Nigeria, would you say that Nigeria is a federal practices federal system of government? And so let me hear your take on that before we go further.
Well, flowing from the preamble of the Constitution, where we said we, the people of Nigeria, have agreed to live as the people, as one entity. And if you read further to the section 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, again, it said, we, the entire people of Nigeria, have decided to live together as one indivisible entity under the republic called the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And if you go further to section 3 of the Constitution, it has also given recognitions to the respective states we have in Nigeria. And if you take it down to section 4, section 5, and section 6, which clearly defines the various arms of government and how their operations are, you will agree with me that, yes, from the flow of the Constitution itself, particularly in section 2, it says, yes, this is a nation that has agreed to live as a federal, as a federation under the term Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, as beautiful as that sounds, one would begin to say, ask, okay, what then is the federalism? So the federalism here is, okay, you have the states, the federal government, you have the state government, and you have the local government. So all of them operating or should operate as one indivisible entity. However, from your question, whether or not Nigeria is a true federalism is another conversation entirely, because if it's a true federalism, so to speak, yes, why do we now have what I term as a federalism within federalism, where, yes, the federal government is there, the state government is there, and the local government is there, but you still see the state government administering the affairs of the local government, whereas it should be that the federal, the state, and the local government should sit on one round table and share what belongs to them. But here, you come to the states, you have the issue of joint local government accounts as contained in Section 7 of the Constitution. So these are some of the negations, you know. Then, in terms of appointments of judicial officers and all that, so there are a lot of negations which has called for, where people are saying, no, we don't really have a true federalism, so to speak. What we have is a kind of a federalism within federalism, where, yes, the state and the federal governments are there, but yet the local governments are not free. And again, it goes to tell why there are a lot of poverty in the country, why there are a lot of hunger in the country, and that is why there are a lot of economic underdevelopment, so to speak, in the country, because the issue of local government is more or less an appendage of the state rather than being a unit of their own, based on the true federalism, if we are really practicing a true federalism. So these are some of the negations. Yes, in theory, we may say we are practicing a federalism, but the question whether or not we are practicing a true federalism still remains unanswered as far as the issue of local government administration in Nigeria is concerned. And that is why people have been clamoring, Nigerians have been clamoring, that it is high time the local government becomes
I think Barrister
autonomous entity of their own, taking what belongs to them direct from the revenue sharing, administering it the way they want.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister Joseph, for that wonderful explanation. So,
can you
explain that Nigeria is practicing like a federal system within a federal system, and it's not. Yes. It's questionable. It's still the question is still unanswered if truly Nigeria is practicing a federal system of government, as is supposed to be among Committee of Nations that practice the federal system of government. So one of the questions that people have out there about if we are a true federation or not is that in most climate or in most society whereby government or by the country practice a federal system of government, there is some level of independence of the federating unit. So, and this federating unit can be states or provinces or that come together to make the federation. So in the case of Nigeria, it's not province, we have states, and we have a 36 state, which I'm going to read through in our constitution. So we have this 36 state that consists of the federating units of Nigeria. And they are in a federal system, they are supposed to be independent in the control of their resources and et cetera, et cetera. So what is the problem here in Nigeria? That why doesn't the state have control of its resources as part of a federating unit?
Of course, one of the major problems is still lies within the Constitution, because the Constitution has given the powers to the federal government, or the federal government to own all the resources, all the mineral resources, whether on land or on water. And if you look at section 43, subsection 3, section 44, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it says all minerals in Nigeria, whether on land or water, belongs to the federal government. And if you look at chapter 2 of the Constitution, which borders on the fundamental objective and direct principles of state policies, It is the duty of the government to harness all those resources. So it's the power lies only within the federal government to harness all those resources. So at the end of the day, you have the issue of revenue sharing formula. So these are some of the issues. So the problem lies within the Constitution that has not clearly given powers to the states to own their resources. However, in the second schedule of the Constitution, it has, however, given some form of power to the state government to do certain things as far as the Constitution is concerned. But the major problem here lies to the fact that the Constitution has given ownership of all the mineral resources in the country to the federal government, thereby making the states helpless as far as resource control is concerned.
Okay, with what you explained now, the Constitution in Section 44 have already given the control of all mineral resources to the federal government. So is it safe to say that the Constitution itself, even having proclaimed that we are a federal republic, have in the same vein weakened the general understanding of a federation among Committee of Nations, because it weakened. Most federations give control of resources to the federating units, but here is our Constitution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so our Constitution is going against the principle of federal system of government.
Absolutely. And recently, the federal government, through the National Assembly, again, is enacting a law to take over all the water bodies, which is another form of mineral resources again. That is on one aspect. Then there are other subsidiary legislation, like, for instance, the Exclusive Economic Zone Act, right, has also given powers to the federal government to own mineral resources within the 30 and 200 nautical miles within the exclusive economic zone. You know, all this belonging to the federal government. So even water bodies that are within the state, the federal government is still making efforts to take over such water bodies. So those are some of the negations within our laws, whether the Constitution or some of the subsidiary legislations we have in the country, has actually weakened the true powers of federalism. Take, for instance, if you, Dr. Ike, oil is discovered in your community, on your land, automatically the federal government takes over that land and drill that resources. The only thing maybe you are entitled to is royalty. But unlike in America, where land is owned in fee simple, so whatever stays on that land belongs to law, taking the true powers of federalism, because the federal government is there controlling virtually everything in the country and doing it the way she wants. So that's the problem. So I agree with you that our Constitution, our subsidiary legislation have weakened the true powers of federalism.
Thank you very much for that explanation. Because a lot of Nigerians they're trying to wrap their head around it. They don't know, are we truly a federal system or not? And some people will clearly say, oh, we're not a federal system, we are a unitary system, because you're not sure. And here you, in your viewpoint, in your explanation, you say we are a federal system within a federal system. While some will say, no, it's not really a federal system at all. That is a unitary system. It's because of all these contradictions within our law, within our Constitution, that makes it difficult for the layman like me and that have no legal training to understand what is really going on. What kind of government do we practice? Are we federal or not? And how does it help us as a people? And now, we already know that these are a matter of legislation, because the legislative branch of government that make this law, that amend the Constitution, that are, and so on and so forth. And these legislators, they come from the federating unit. They represent different federating units. They represent different states. We have 109 senators from different senatorial zones. Every state have about 3 senatorial zones, right? And then we'll have 360 House of Representatives representing all that states. So these lawmakers are from a state, and they're supposed to represent interests of those states. So is it that our lawmakers do not understand their roles and their responsibility to the people who elect them to represent them? What is the problem here?
Yeah, if I understand the role of a legislator, Dr. Ike, right? Yeah. If I understand that clearly, I summarize it to be 3 roles, 3 major roles. 1, representation, represent your people in the National Assemblies. 2, legislation, make laws that will have direct impact on your people. And 3, carry out oversight functions, which will constitute which will serve as a check and balances in the activities of government, the executive. But quite unfortunately, how do you represent when you don't interact with your people, when you don't even know the yearnings of your people? How do you make good laws when you don't even interact with your people to know which areas of law, what input can they make, in guiding you to arrive at laws, those laws that will have impact on them? But for want of time, I won't go into specifics. And then oversight, so that the people will know that what belongs to the people. We're talking of the dividends of democracy. So if the government, if the executive is supposed to construct a road or a contract has been awarded, they have to make it known. But quite unfortunately, it will surprise you to know that some of the legislators, some of the senators, some of the House of Representative members don't even have constituency offices where their constituent can interact with them. Some of them don't even do constituency briefings to tell their children. We don't even, I, for instance, don't even have access to my National Assembly member because I've called him severally. He won't pick up the calls, because there are certain things concern you raise so that they will understand. And nobody seems to listen to you. You send a message through their legislative aid, whether it gets to them, nobody knows and nobody cares. So these are some of the problems. So one is beginning to be tempted, or one is tempted to say, are they really representing us as a people, or they are representing themselves? So that's the problem. Because some of them don't even understand the business of lawmaking, the business of a legislature. So that's why we're having some of these issues. Okay, now the water bill is going on. The National Assembly member has come back to brief their constituent on the propriety or otherwise of having that law. Everything is just quiet. That things happen, nobody knows. So it's quite disheartening, because if a legislator is interacting with his constituency, he will be able to know that, yes, the yearnings of my people, these are the wishes of my people. So when I am in the National Assembly, this is how I'll be able to articulate these issues, So it's quite disappointing that most of the legislators don't even know what to do. If not, we have been on the issue of local government autonomy now for how many years? We have been on the issue of removal of joint accounts with local government and state government now for how many years? And when it comes to constitutional amendment, some of the houses of assembly members are not even helping matters at all. So there's a huge problem. And until we begin to screen the people we send to our National Assembly on the basis of performance, on the basis of capacity, and on the basis of integrity, that is only when we'll begin to get things right. But for now, the National Assembly is one of the major problems we have as a country. And they are constituting a club in the way of having a true federalism as far as Nigeria is concerned.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Joseph. So I'm going to read the sections of the Constitution that we're covering for this pre-recorded session. and then I'll ask for your closing remark, and we end this session. And just to add a footnote for the audience, this is a series that talking about, we'll start about the structure of the government of Nigeria, and also the branches of government and the tiers of government. And today we are focusing on the structure of the government, whether it's a federation or not, and or in a nutshell, we're talking about the constitutionality of Nigeria as itself and its 36 states. That's what we're focusing on today, and we are covering section 2 and section 3 of the Constitution to drive this home. And here is what these two sections says. Section 2 says, Nigeria is one indivisible and indissoluble sovereign state to be known by the name, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria shall be a federation consisting of states and a federal capital territory. That is section 2. And section 3 says, there shall be 36 states in Nigeria. That is to say, that's the listed all the 36 states. Abia, Adamawa, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Benue, Borno, Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo, Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, Jigawa, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Niger, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe, and Zamfara. These are the 36 states of Nigeria that is supposed to be the federating units, as have been explained by the good barrister. So each of these states of Nigeria are named in the first column. So you can see in the first column of part 1 of the first schedule to this constitution. It shall consist of the area shown opposite thereto in the second column of the schedule. The headquarters of the governor of the state shall be known as the capital city of that state, as shown in the third column of part 1 of the first schedule opposite the state name in the first column thereof. The federal capital territory, Abuja, shall be as defined as in part 2 of the first scheduled to this constitution. The provision of this constitution in part 1 of chapter 8 thereof shall, in relation to the federal capital territory, Abuja, have effect in manner set out thereunder. There shall be 768 local government. So this is incorrect, and this needs to be corrected. It should supposed to be 774 local government. That's what we currently have in Nigeria, not 768. We have 774 local government areas in Nigeria, as shown in second column of part 1 of the first schedule to this constitution, and 6 area councils are shown in part 2 of that schedule. So that is what section 2 and section 3 is talking about, that we are a federal republic and we have federating unit, which is 36 states, and their capital shall be known as the capital city. And then we'll have the federal capital territory called Abuja. So you've seen this, and the good brothers have done a wonderful job explaining that our constitution, in a way, that is what also might be, in a way, is negating the concept of federalism. And this is the fault of our legislative branch of government, or our legislators, who we know as the National Assembly in Nigeria, consisting of senators and House of Representatives. And we have an opportunity come February 2023 to elect new National Assembly members, and as well as the president and the state and the governors. So we have this chance, and we should seize this chance to elect people that understand the issue, people that understand the need of the people. That is the kind of people you elect into these offices. Because if you elect the wrong people, it's going to be the same things happen again. We cannot continue repeating the same issue, the same thing over and over, and expect a different result. Always going to have the same result. If you repeat the same errors of yesterday, you're going to have the same error result. But when we change the people, when we put in the right people, people that understand the need of the people, on the local level, the state level, and the legislative branch and judicial branch, then we'll have a chance to build the nation that we deserve, to build the country that we deserve. So, and this is where I leave you for this session. And the next pre-recorded session is going to be for Tuesday, 2nd of August, and it's going to be focused on the legislative branch of the government with Section 4 of the Constitution. And once again, it shall be recorded with our good Barrister Joseph. As we wrap up this session, Barrister, do you have any closing remarks for the people?
Yeah, already you've taken words out of my mouth. We are edging close to the election where we will be electing members of the National Assembly. And just like you said, we should ask questions as to the knowledge capacity of the people we are looking to elect, their integrity, and their level of understanding of the business they are away with along central or along all forms of favoritism. Nigeria belongs to all of us, and until all of us join hands to rebuild it, it's only then we can have a country we can be proud of. I'm proud of Nigeria, and I'm ready to always contribute my quota, same as all of us are doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, Barrister Joseph Tendo Baggio, right? Baggio. Once again, and I will see you in the next session. And please, when you watch this video, share, and so that more people can watch it and learn the same thing that you've learned, so that we can be better citizens to build a better nation that we'll call ours. Thank you once again. And this show is powered by the Global Coalition for Security and Democracy in Nigeria. Thank you for always watching and supporting the show. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.